More Pack Profiles presented by the Dolan Automotive Group, working hard even in the summertime, still here and getting things done. David Carter's been a busy man since the last basketball season ended. So much for this whole concept of off-season, man. The season ended and you guys right into it. You had a lot of things to accomplish after last season ended. Tell us, give us just kind of an update of where you feel like the program is from the end of last year to where we are now here midsummer.
Well, in the last year, I had a lot of changes. Had a few kids that felt they needed to go somewhere else and play. With that said, we had to really rebuild the front line. We signed 3 players that I think is going to help us a lot. We're very excited about the style of play that these young men bring to the team, and we look forward to it. You know, you can't look back on last year. You got to keep moving forward, and that's what we've done.
Tell me about the evaluation process that you went through yourself and also with your coaches as you kind of looked at what you've been through and where you want to go going forward.
Well, after the season, you look back and, you know, you realize this conference has a lot more depth, a lot of great teams, and for us to compete, we got to have more depth, and more depth means in the backcourt as well as the front court. With that said, we, again, going out and try to improve in that area, get more depth in that area. I think next year, because you know what you've been through, I think it's going to help everyone. I mean, even a kid like Deontay Burton, who I think had a solid year. People look at the year and say, "Oh, I'm not sure he had a great year," but you know, he still had a good year. You think about, we finished last, he's still third team. You know, so that's a lot of respect for him. That shows a lot of respect. So I think next year we know what to expect. This year was different. The way they guard the ball, the way their philosophies and so forth, and their offensive defensive scheme. So, you know, I just went back and looked at the tapes and said, okay, how can we get better? How can we compete at the top of the conference?
Change is never easy, but is it an exciting time for you as a coach as you look at bringing some new folks into the program, some new blood, and maybe some new energy?
Oh, definitely. And like I said, you never look back. You always want to look forward. And I think with the kids we have, I think we're excited. We look forward to having a good year. Again, when you realize what you've been through and you see that, okay, where you need help, and I think we addressed those issues this spring, yeah.
Let's talk about the new names that you have here, and let's go back a little bit because we tend to forget about a guy in DJ Fenner who you signed in the fall period, but obviously a guy you're looking for big things from him in silver and blue. Let's talk about DJ and what you hope he brings to this team next year.
Again, it's the depth. 6'6" guard, very athletic, can score. He led the state of Washington in scoring, I believe, or maybe second. He was Player of the Year. And again, that's a player that we're looking forward to having because he allows us to have more depth in that backcourt. Not just a 1-2 guys that can score in the backcourt, but now you add him. Hopefully he can give you some production next year as a freshman.
All right, you look at the guys you went out and got, and clearly you needed to address some things with your front line. You started by bringing in a kid by the name of A.J. West from junior college, and I know you're very excited about him. You've had a lot of good conversations with him. Tell us about A.J. and what you hope to see from him.
Well, A.J. had a great year at junior college at Monroe in New York. He led the country in shot blocks. He finished around the rim. I think he averaged about 19 and 14 his last 14 games, and really helped them get into the playoffs in a situation where they were like maybe number 1, number 2 seed. His ability to block shots and change shots around the basket, I think that's what we lacked last year. We had no presence inside. I think he gives you a presence. At the same time, on the offensive end, he can finish. He has great hands. I think he's an exciting player. He's excited about being here, and that's the one thing about a kid like AJ. He wanted to be here, and that much makes me excited.
Well, what is it about this kid? I mean, you talk about leads the nation in block shots with 5 block shots a game, which is a staggering number. And we're not talking about a 7'2" guy that's just in there with this unbelievable size. What is it about him that he blocks so many shots?
Great timing. He anticipates very well from the weak side. Again, his timing is unbelievable. For 6'9", his wingspan, I think, is almost 7 foot, and he has a great knack of helping out on help side defense. And that's where your block shots come a lot. He doesn't necessarily block a lot of shots on his defender, but when guys are driving down the lane, he's able to be that secondary defender to get block shots. And, you know, when I first saw him play and watching him, that's what made me excited. Say, hey, we don't have that, you know, and it was great to be able to sign a kid like him.
All right, 2 other guys that you brought in from the front court. Lucas Stivrins, tell us about him.
Lucas is a very skilled kid, 6'11". Actually, Lucas has put on about 20 pounds now. and he's looking good. He wants to be very good. And he was at junior college. I think the system really didn't fit him in terms of getting him the ball where he can score, but he has a great face-up game, has a great back-to-the-basket game. His biggest thing is just getting stronger. And he knows that. He's in the weight room every day. Now in the summer, he's excited. He's a great kid with a great smile. And when you have kids that have an energy that wants to get better and in the weight room is trying to pay the price, that helps me as a coach. Now you don't have to try to force a kid or beg a kid to do the things that is necessary to be good. He is doing those things.
Another guy you brought in, Ronnie Stevens. Tell us about him.
Ronnie played at a very good junior college, Indian Hills in Iowa. Ronnie won a state championship game actually in California. He and Deontay were rivals in high school, and he's a winner. He's not the most athletic guy, he's not the most skilled guy, but he does all the little things in terms of rebounding, defending. He finishes around the rim. And he's a kid that, again, understands what he is. And when you understand what you are in your role, it makes it a lot easier. And he's going to bring a lot of energy as well.
We just talked to Deontay a second ago. I'm not sure he's over that state championship game yet, by the way. So you might want to iron those issues out before the.
Well, Roddy's letting him know about that. I think they talked about that the other day.
Probably flashing a ring around, showing off some jewelry for Deontay. Hey, one thought on him though. You mentioned Indian Hills. Anybody that follows basketball in the college game, you hear about Indian Hills, one of the top JUCO programs in the entire country. How much does that mean to you, a guy that has been at a high-level program that obviously values winning the way they do?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, I think of that one team, I think they have 6 or 7 kids playing Division I now. And so there's a lot of depth. And you look at his numbers, very similar to Lucas. You're not going to have a lot of numbers when you're playing up-tempo, you're pressing, you're running, and guys are going in and out the game. And for him, he's always played his role. He's always been a winner. And I was very impressed with him playing at Indian Hills, going there knowing that there's always a lot of depth there. I mean, he could have went to junior college in California and probably averaged about 20 points, but he went somewhere where they have traditional winning.
Hey, one other guy I want to ask you about, I mentioned that we kind of forget about DJ because he signed so long ago. Mike Perez is a guy that redshirted for you last year, and I know you're expecting big things out of Mike this season. Tell us what he can add to the mix. I know watching him in practice last year, I was really impressed with a lot of things he can do.
Well, Mike can score, and that's the one thing that we're going to need because we lose Malik Story, who averaged 15, 16 points a game, and I think Mike can fill that void. Not saying he's going to average that many points, but on any given night, he can give you 20 points. He's really hungry to play. I mean, setting out a year really, makes you more hungry. He's really excited about being able to play this year to show what he can do. And he really missed playing basketball last year. I mean, practice was his game. And so I'm excited about him playing because I think the fans are going to really enjoy watching him play. His energy, his competitive level. I think he and Deontay will play well together.
All right, 2 other things I want to ask you about. You mentioned Deontay. He's got a big opportunity coming up to go compete for a spot on Team USA. Going to Colorado Springs, a lot of the top names in college basketball are going to be there. Great opportunity for him. You guys have got to be really excited that he's part of this.
Oh, we were. He got the invitation. It came through email and invited him to try out for the USA games. And I talked to him and his parents about just a great opportunity. Not every kid gets invited. Just to be invited, that's a privilege. And you just want to go there and play as hard as you can and do the best you can because you're amongst probably some of the best players in college. And he's one of the better players, and this is another stage for him to show how good he is.
All right, later on this summer, then you guys have a chance to go to Italy as a team, and I know we talked about that a little bit during the season, but with that trip approaching, tell me about why you guys make this trip and what you hope it can do for your ball club before next season.
Well, this year I think the timing is great. Again, we had some changes in springtime. We added some new additions, and I think it's more of a bonding thing for us now to be able to go. The guys get together, play 4 or 5 games while we're there. We have about 10 practices before we leave, and it's just more of playing together, getting used to each other before we come back and actually start getting after it in September and October. So for us, it's more of a bonding of the team. A lot of new players, trying to get them acclimated to the system. Then for the guys, it's the experience of Italy. I mean, a lot of kids have never left the country. We're right now getting passports for most of them. And so I think the experience of seeing a different culture, a different world than what they're used to, I think is always a great experience because let's face it, without basketball, some of these kids wouldn't be able to do some of the things that we're doing, and this trip is very special.
I know some of the folks might hear you say 10 days of practice and say, big deal, 10 days, what can that do? But it seems like every coach talks about how valuable that can be, even though it's not a long period of time, that can just greatly benefit a team going forward.
Oh, definitely. And when you have new players, it actually acclimates them to what they're going to face in September and October instead of waiting until school starts. And all of a sudden, the first day, their eyes are big and it's like a deer in headlights. Now you get that out the way. You know, now they know what to expect. They know how intense practice is. And so when school starts, it's not a shock to them.
All right, Deontay said he's relying on Ali to speak Italian for him when he's over there. How's your Italian? You got anything for us? Have you brushed up at all?
Well, no, I can't even speak Italian. I just know that I eat Italian food, and I'm not even sure if I can pronounce those foods in Italian. But I haven't brushed up, and this has been my third trip there. You know, we've gone a few times, and I feel bad. Maybe I should learn Italian.
Can you one of those Rosetta Stone things or something? We can get you learning the language, something like that.
Pizza,
spaghetti, ravioli. He's got it down. David Carter with us. Pack Profiles presented by the Dolan Automotive Group.